Hi,
Hi, Elizabeth. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good.
I'm feeling really happy that I successfully got this started.
I've always joined them. I've never been in charge of one yet, so good job.
This is the first time I've ever done any of these or anything like
Um,
this.
well, good job. I've joined them last semester, so I'm pretty new to it too.
So we're Deborah. Her name is Deborah, and I saw that she was when right before I got this started. I saw that she was over there. So hopefully she figures out. I sent an invite to both of you. So did you see the invite?
Yeah, I was about to try and start my own hangout when yours popped up. So
So
hopefully hers will.
I've created a circle and I've called it BioStatistic Group, and it has all of us in it.
Oh, that's great.
And so I sent it to the group, so she should have got it. I'm going to take a quick look over here. Um, so I see you,
Yeah, I'm looking for her on this side. I don't see her either.
but I thought I saw her there. Maybe I just thought I saw her there and I didn't. Now I've got to go back and find you. There you are.
Okay, I found her. Manley.
Hold on just a second. Ooh, going back and forth between the two. Um,
I'm trying to add her, like
she
again. I
is
don't know.
KDMANLEY 4 at .com.
Did she ever send you like a phone number?
She never sent me a phone number. I had sent her an email. You got the email that I sent this morning. So
Yeah.
I meant to send that last night, but I got it out this morning and she's not responded. But it sounded like she works. That's why 6 o'clock was too early for her.
Oh,
And so she said 7 was the earliest. So I don't know if she checks her email during the day or um, I don't know what her arrangement is.
so do we still have Catherine Flam or Donna Hurt?
I don't think so. I think it's just the three of us, but let me check new
I just
today.
got a in my inbox. My email is regarding Biostat group meeting. Check to see if you've gotten it too. It's from Donna Hurt, and then it was sent to Catherine Flam, and I know she had been on our list before. And it
Uh,
was CC'd to me into wow. Let's see if we can even get them in. I wonder if they merged a couple of groups.
I don't know. Let me go look because I had looked at the Hangout sign up last night, and it was just the three of us. So I don't know if they didn't put their name on the sign out. Let's see. Oh, that's new.
Yeah,
Catherine Flynn.
Catherine Flam. Let me see if we can invite her. Yeah,
Um,
she was emailing back at like a half hour ago. Maybe she
so
didn't.
she must not have emailed me because I didn't get it, and I've looked at my emails. Um,
Yeah, and she CC'd three other different people.
right, so hold on a second. Let me see.
If we could find her on
And
Hangout.
let me go to my email. Close.
I think I found something.
I wonder if she tried to go on earlier because I didn't update the time.
Yeah, I bet you that's probably what happened. I found her on Hangout, so I'm trying to add her, but it doesn't look like she's on.
I'm sending an email.
So where are you located at? Where are you at?
I live in Redding, California, um, which is at the northern end of California. I'm not at the very top of California, but I'm an hour and a half from the very top. Um,
My
I'm
mother's
at
in Sacramento, so where is that from
well,
Sacramento?
I'm about 2.5 to 3 hours north of Sacramento,
Oh,
depending on what part of Sacramento she's in.
oh wow. She's
Um,
in Citrus Heights, which is just outside of it.
yeah, so I'm about 2 hours and 45 minutes to 3 hours from there. Um, hold on just a second.
Probably beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Um, hold on. I can't do two things at once. Um, okay, let me get this sent. So, yeah, and this time of year is wonderful. We have, which will probably sound hot to you, but our temperatures are 80 to 85 degrees, which for us, because we live in a very dry area, is just
Hmm.
like to die for wonderful, mild, warm weather. We live in flip-flops and shorts the majority of the year.
Oh, how
And
nice.
so fall and spring are my favorite times of the year because you can leave the doors open and you walk around in bare feet and it's
I
just
bet.
like nice. Yeah. And now
Yeah.
are you living in Rexburg?
I am about 20 minutes from Rexburg. I'm in Rigby, which is pretty close. Um, this is it's just easier to do an online class with kids and
Oh
all of
yeah.
that. So
How old are your
I do
kids?
have one. I have three kids. We have three kids. Our oldest, she's leaving for her mission in 3 weeks, so we're kind of distracted with mission stuff. And then a girl that she's a senior, and then our son, he's a seventh grader. So school has kind of been put on the back burner a little bit for
Yeah, so
priority.
my oldest is turning 26 in January. He already has his bachelor's, and then I have a girl that just graduated high school, so she started at our local junior college, and then I've got my youngest is 15 and sophomore in high school. So this way I feel like oh finally it's my time. I starting to have time because my 15-year-old she gets busy and
Do your own thing.
yeah, and
But
I've been
we set an example for our kids, right? Get our degrees.
that's right, that's right, setting the example. So let
Yeah.
me see if she's answered her email. Um, oh, I got a new inbox. Hold on. So she says, I'm actually doing a hangout in 20, scrunch together all the people who haven't done it yet. Thanks.
Oh.
Oh, she says, thanks, though I might try to officially join your group next time, depending on what happens tonight. Okay, so I'm going to just quickly reply.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, do you have this recording already?
Yes, I think so. I mean, if I did it right, I think I did it right. Um, let me get back to you. So I mean, I have links going on. It says broadcast because I have the stop broadcast button. So I think when we stop broadcast, then I'll copy the link. Let me try Deborah one more time. Let me see if I can get her.
Get her email.
Or on chat. Let's see.
Oh, she just tried calling me or doing a hangout. Should we try re-inviting her, or I wonder why it didn't.
Tell her that we sent an invitation. Tell her to see if she can find it. Because I don't know how. Let's see. Let me see if I can figure out how to. Because she should still have the invitation out there.
Yeah, because I see on the right side of the hangout list, it shows that there's 4 of us that have been invited.
Deborah. Okay, wait a minute. That's not working. Okay, so I've just sent another invite to the BioStatistics Group, so that should.
Yeah, I saw it pop up.
So hopefully she can figure out how to join. So that's going to be a trick for me, I guess, next week. How about you be the leader next week?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take my due diligence and get it done.
Yeah, and then you'll start it, and then I'll figure out how to join you.
Okay.
So let's see. While we're waiting for her, I figure why don't we get started? We've already spent.
Yeah,
50.
let's just go ahead and go over with what we got. I mean, he said in both his videos, he knew the first couple of weeks would be a little rough anyway, so.
And I was going to send him an email because he's got a due date as Thursday, and we're doing our meeting on Friday. So I was going to send him an email saying, if we're meeting on Friday, is that going to be an issue?
I didn't even notice
I work at the hospital. Yeah. I work at the hospital Mondays and Wednesdays regularly, and I work 12-hour shifts. And then I work every other Thursday, so that's why Thursdays don't work for me, because every other one, I'm not really available.
Okay.
I work 12-hour shift, and then I'm on call for the next 12 hours, so I can't be counted on Monday, Wednesdays, and every other Thursday.
You know what? I have no problem. So yeah, if you email him, I'm pretty flexible. There's only a couple of no problem. All right, let's cover what we got.
Okay, so part 2. Did you fill them out? I've kind of already gone through and filled mine out.
Too, and I know there's a way that you can screenshot the homework, on the computer, but I don't know how to do that. I'm not that cool with Google yet.
I don't know how to do that either.
But the only one that I had missed going through part 2 when I checked it against the key was the first one, 6A, where it said it was convenience, and I thought it was cluster.
I did the same thing. I thought it was cluster, but then when I read back, I thought, well, that makes sense
Right.
um, because his group is going to have an inherent bias because they're all patients of a clinic, one clinic.
Exactly.
And so I
So that was
understand.
the only one I missed.
Well, I missed E, the John Hopkins University researcher surveys all cardiac patients in each of 30 randomly selected hospitals. I initially thought that was stratified instead of
You know,
cluster.
I actually found a YouTube video that he did 3 different videos and each are only like 2 minutes long, and it was so visual. It was like, okay, I get it. I get what stratified is. I get what cluster is. I was really proud of myself to have dumbed it down and watched a YouTube to figure it out. But
Would you send me the link to that by email?
yeah, you bet. I'll go back and I'll grab it and I'll
I
send
mean,
it to you.
I pretty much understand what all the groups are, and after it said cluster, I went back and reread it, and I could see how that was a cluster, but I was thrown by the 30 randomly selected hospitals and surveying all the cardiac patients. So the randomly selected hospitals, each hospital was a cluster, and that's what threw me
Hmm.
off. Understanding that
Yeah.
the hospital was the cluster.
Yeah, I'll send you the links. It was he had a ton of videos, but they were just using stick figures on his board, and it was really very effective.
Okay, that'd be great. That'll just help reinforce to me.
Okay.
And then on the second part, I got all that right.
Oh, let me get my dog. Sorry.
No worries.
1 second.
No worries. I'm going to look and see if I can find Deborah.
Okay. Okay.
I'm looking to see if I can send her a message. Let's see.
I wonder if we could look her up in like the directory. Do they have like a phone number
Oh,
somehow?
maybe. Why don't you look at that while I'm sending her an email?
No, she doesn't have a phone tied to her contact. I don't. It doesn't look like.
Well, I can see when I'm looking through my Google Mail and I clicked on Hangout, it says people in this Hangout, and there's 2 different versions of her. I have 2 different pictures, but you're the only one with the green dot. So
Which means I must be on online or something, I'm guessing. Well, how about we do this after we're done? just send a group email to everyone in the group and let them know that we covered it. This is our contact numbers once again. This is
Right,
when we're meeting again, and then if you're here, you just respond if you at least got the message. Because I'm sure he'll
right.
be forgiving the first week till we figure this all
Yes.
out.
And it says, and Catherine says she might not be joining our group. I guess she said it'll be dependent on what,
How the other group works.
yeah, how she goes tonight. Um, so, okay, and is there, oh, we have to do the quiz. That's what we have to do, the group quiz. So let's get back to this. I learned.
I think once we get going with this, we'll get pretty efficient where it won't take very long.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to get the Hangout started pretty good, and then it showed since I put you guys and created a circle. So maybe you should do that too, create a circle with all of us in it, because
Yeah.
then it was easy when I went down to invite. It was in a drop-down list, and I was just able to connect BioStatistics Circle, and boom, the invitation went out. So.
Easy enough. It shouldn't be too big. Okay, so record your
So
meeting after your group has clarified that we understand part 2. Click start below to take the group meeting quiz. You're required to work together on this quiz. Each member of the group must submit his or her answers to receive credit. Okay, so go ahead and start that.
Yep, I've got mine open.
Okay. Okay, I do too.
I completed the individual preparation assignment. Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yes.
actively participated. Yes, we're actively participating. Some of these things drive me crazy.
I know.
It's
Busy
like,
work.
yes. Researchers would like to determine if reviewing material consistently within an hour of class, what students perform better on exams than if students.
Oh, great. Okay. Which of the 5 steps of the statistical process are the teachers applying?
And more appropriate.
If reviewing material consistently within an hour after class helps students perform better on exams, then if students want to wait to review the material the day before the exam. To answer this question, the researchers are trying to determine if an observational study or an experiment would be more appropriate. They are discussing who the population would be and how they will determine which sampling method is best.
I think they're designing the study.
They're trying to decide what to even do.
Right, they're discussing who the population would be and how they will determine what they're going to use to design the study. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go with design.
Because they're not collecting the data yet, and
No,
they can't describe
they
the data.
can't describe any data, and they can't make inferences because they're not going from big to little yet. Okay. The researchers collected the results yesterday. So
I think that's describe the data.
tallies the frequencies of each category and computes the mean number of hours watched. Let's describe the data.
Yeah, that's what I think. Describe the data, because it says the researchers, they've already collected the results, and she's creating a histogram to illustrate. So I think that's describe the data.
Okay.
Do you think that's right?
Sure. Honestly, I'm not sure.
That wasn't very confident.
No, it wasn't, was it? Oh gosh.
Well, let's read it again. A researcher has collected the results of a survey where the participants were asked how many hours of TV they watch each day. The researcher tallies the frequencies for each category and computes mean number of hours watched.
Oh,
Then
you're
she,
right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
yeah,
I just
then
had to
she
get
did
out loud.
histogram to help illustrate the overall distribution. So I think this is
Right.
past the collect data
They've
point.
already designed the study. They've already collected the data. Now they've got to describe it by putting it in an illustration.
Right, in an
That makes
illustration.
sense.
All right.
Okay. All right. Mumbai, India. Quickly.
Why don't you read it out loud? That helps
Okay.
me.
It helped me too, I guess, huh? Mumbai, India is a quickly growing city of importance in its own country as well as the global economy. A marketing research firm has been asked by a prominent fast food restaurant to help determine if the citizens of Mumbai would support this fast food business. From a list of all registered taxpayers, 3,000 names are randomly selected. Each individual on the list is mailed a brief questionnaire. The researchers received 1,049 responses. The population is, okay, so what was the population? The population are the ones that responded, is
Yes, I
that
think so.
right? The
Yeah,
1049?
the 1049.
Okay.
So quickly, Mumbai, India is a quickly growing city of importance in its own country as well as in the global economy. Marketing research firm has been asked by a prominent fast food restaurant to determine if citizens of Mumbai would support this fast food business. From a list of all registered taxpayers, okay, each individual on the list is, I think it's the citizens of Mumbai.
Is the sample?
The population.
Let me go back to my definitions.
Yeah, that's it. Boy, that's the population going to be labeled the citizens of Mumbai because it's an inference.
Right? Okay, I'll go with that. The citizens, because
Well,
the
yeah,
next
that's,
question is what is the sample? So which one is the population, which one is the sample? In the same question.
I think the 1049 is the
Is the sample.
sample.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. I had it reversed because it was
Yeah, boy,
a
that's tricky.
because it's a randomly selected. That was the SRS, right? 3,000.
And his question, that's kind of where I got it, is the question is if the citizens of Mumbai would support the fast food business. So he's
Mm-hmm.
wanting to find out what the citizens want. Yeah, and
Okay.
I think quite quickly it's
Good
marketing.
catch.
And the sample is, yeah, I think the sample is the
49.
1049.
Okay. I agree with you.
I guess we'll find out when we hit submit, huh?
Okay, so the next two looks like one's going to be quantitative and one's going to be categorical.
Studies have Studies have shown that retention of classroom materials can drop as low as 58% within 15 minutes of class and within 44% after the first hour after class. This forgetting curve continues so that within 6 days only 25% is remembered. How can a student conquer this forgetting curve? The researchers in this study claim that constant review is important. Suppose your teacher wanted to test this and invited you to participate in a study where you were asked to review specific material 15 minutes after class for 10 minutes, an hour after class for 10 minutes, and then again 2 days after class for 10 minutes. Your teacher then gives you a short 10 question quiz where your score out of 10 is recorded. What type of data is your teacher collecting?
Okay, he said in his opening notes when he was introducing, or was it in the, I think it was in his notes to the class, the difference between quantitative and categorical. Quantitative, what was the difference?
Generally dealing with numbers.
Numbers, and if they made sense, it was going to be quantitative.
And I think this is quantitative because they're measuring scores.
Because they can see it actually go up or down.
Right.
It is raised. So I think it's kind of quantitative. Okay. So the next question, how different is it from the first? After the 6th day, your teacher asks if you feel confident that you have retained at least 50% of the material. He then records your response as yes, no, not sure. What type of data is your teacher collecting? That'd be categorical, right?
Right, because there's no numbers involved.
The way I understand it.
Yeah, because then he would collect how many yeses versus how many nos and how many not sures.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I think so.
So then the next one.
Studies have shown that retention of classroom materials can drop as low as 58% within 15 minutes of class and within 44% after the first hour. This forgetting curve. So that within 6 days, only 25% is remembered. How can a student conquer the forgetting curve? Researchers in this study claim that the constant review is important. Suppose your teacher wanted to test this and invited you to participate in the study where you were asked to review specific material 15 minutes after class for 10 minutes, an hour after class for 10 minutes, and then again 2 days after class for 10 minutes. Your teacher also selects a group to give no review to the material over the 6 days. This group is called the control group.
It's the control group?
Yeah, what do you think?
I was thinking maybe it's the hypothesis group. The researcher in this study claims that constant review is important. So his hypothesis is you have to review to retain the information. So if it's the control group, he's going to purposely not let them review the material.
And that's what it says. Your teacher also selects a group to give no review to the material over 6 days.
So by controlling them, by not having them do any review, that is the control group to prove his hypothesis.
So he would compare his study group or his population group to the control group, which is the one that had no review at all.
Okay, that makes sense. It sure helps to talk it out, at least for me.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Yeah, because especially it's like the Mumbai one. Boy,
yeah.
that,
be easy for me to pick up.
Kind of trick question.
Which of the following would be considered an experimental design? Telephone poll asking people whether or not they vaccinate their children, administering the tuberculosis vaccination to one group and giving a placebo to another, a census, a mail survey asking people whether or not they received the tuberculosis vaccine. Be considered an experimental design. Okay, what was an experimental design again?
Experimental design is when you have, when you're doing a double-blind placebo study. So you've got the control group given a placebo, and you've got your other group that you're giving a treatment to. So I think this is
the second one.
Yeah, administering the tuberculosis vaccination.
Controlling. Okay.
Right, versus a placebo.
In a study to determine the average wage of working people in Mumbai, we're still in Mumbai, which of the following would be the best sample? Every 10th worker that you meet, as you travel the streets, all of the workers in one working district of Mumbai, many randomly selected workers in each of the several working districts of Mumbai, or all the female workers. So
In the
this study
study,
determine the average wage of working people. Okay, so it'd have to be not all female workers.
I would think many randomly selected workers in each of the several working districts.
It wouldn't be the every 10th because that was the stratified one.
That's every 10th is systematic.
Yeah, the systematic.
And you're only in one area, so you could have a bias because maybe that area is having
Higher wage worked area or something.
or an economic downturn or something.
Right.
I would see that as one state having a higher out of work population than another state.
Right. So all the workers in one working district?
I think that would be biased as well.
Yeah. Many randomly selected workers in each of several working districts. That seems like it'd probably be the fairest.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
All right. You want to become the next Jonas Salk and produce a vaccine that will help cure children of respiratory, this is good, syncytial virus.
RSV.
RSV. You test the vaccine and compare it to a placebo and randomly choose one group of children to take the vaccine and one group to take the placebo. What or who are the experimental units or subjects? Or the subject?
So the experimental are the ones with the placebo? Is that what we're saying?
Is
Oh, the experimental units. Okay, so is it the vaccine and the placebo, or is it the children taking it?
It's the children taking it, I think.
I am not sure.
Well, I think the subjects are the children. That's your population. Because the vaccine and the placebo are the treatment.
And you want to see yep, that makes sense. Who the experiment is being done on.
Yeah, and I think the parents and the administrators are extraneous. I think the vaccine and the placebo are the treatment and the children are the subjects.
Okay. So that answered 13.
12.
Well, 12 and 13, because the next one is what are the treatments?
Oh, okay. The vaccine and placebo.
That works. Wow, I can't believe how many questions there are.
Yeah.
They're all going to be like this.
Well, hopefully our homework quiz is going to be similar to this so that we
yeah. Okay.
In 1990, the U.S. government supported a study that was run for 15 years where 4,608 low-income families were given a chance to move to less impoverished areas. They distributed vouchers and provided various support systems. Researchers wanted to determine if getting people out of poor neighborhoods would reduce the poverty level of U.S. citizens. The low-income families were randomly assigned to one of the following three groups. The low-poverty voucher group, the traditional voucher group, and the control group. Because the study was experiment observational, or neither.
Okay, so like the first one, they get counseling and assistance with their Section 8, usable only in low poverty areas. The second one, they're restricted to certain areas with assistance from local housing authority. And the control group received no certificates but remained eligible for public or project housing with other programs. It's not observational.
Isn't
Um,
isn't it?
well,
Or is this, or are these things that they're
they distributed vouchers and provided various support systems. The researchers wanted to determine if getting people out of poor neighborhoods would reduce poverty. So,
maybe
were
you're
they?
right.
I think
Maybe
they
by
were.
giving the
Go ahead.
voucher, that's the treatment, is being given the voucher.
So that's the experiment, right?
Yeah, I think so. Because the experiment is when you do something to the group, you apply a treatment, I think. And observational, let me look back on this.
Well, observational means my definition I had down was researchers simply observe what happens without controlling the conditions under which treatments are made. So are they controlling the conditions or not? Because if they're not controlling anything, then it's just going to be observational.
Um,
And it says in 1992, the government supported a study where so many families were given a chance to move to less impoverished areas. They distributed vouchers and provided various support systems. So yeah, I think it's experiment. I don't think it's observational.
the researchers want to determine if getting people out of poor neighborhoods would reduce the poverty level of U.S. citizens. So the low income in three groups. See Section 8. Receive regular Section 8 certificates or vouchers and ordinary briefings, assistance, and the control group received no certificates or vouchers but remained eligible for the project itself.
I think that they were impacting it because they were assigned to 3 different groups, and one group wouldn't get anything, so maybe that's kind of like the placebo. And another group would get sort of help with the voucher, and then the other group would get the voucher but with a little bit better help of support. So it sounds, I don't know, I guess that's my.
Like that's how you're interpreting giving of the voucher is giving a treatment. But then what's an so then what would have been an observational study on this then? Because I'm still not 100% sure. Let me go back to.
Well, researchers simply observe what happens without controlling the conditions. So if they gave everybody a voucher and watched to see what happens, that seems to me like if everybody got the voucher, it was all even across the board, and then they just watched and waited to see who gets out of poverty. That seems like it'd be more observational than if they give one group some and another group none.
Okay.
Or if you give me your reasoning for more
Well,
observational.
because I'm thinking that they're doing this thing. So, an observational study, you do something and then you watch to see it work. So, I'm wondering if the controlling thing if the controlling aspect, which is what happens in an experimental, is that the counseling and everything that they're given? Is that what the controlling part is? Um,
Hmm.
because I'm thinking, okay, they do this thing and they offer this stuff, and then they watch to see if if it changes the poverty. So let me just, let's see, is that lesson 2, part 2?
No, I can see your point. I can see what you're saying.
Well, and I'm hearing you too, and that's why I am not sure. I'm kind of, these are the videos. Okay, here we go. Get into the textbook. See if we can get here.
I had under the definition for experiment,
Here, let me read.
researchers control to some extent the conditions under which measurements are made. I don't know, are the researchers to some extent controlling how they may be getting out of poverty by giving some a voucher and some not? Because if they are, then it is an experiment.
Let's see. Well, I think you might be right. Researchers control the conditions of the study, and I think that is the by controlling the study. Hold on a second. The design.
If I'm wrong,
In
I mean,
health study, researchers observe the response of the individuals without controlling the conditions experienced by the individuals. Therefore, they do not assign the participants to treatment or control groups. Observational studies commonly occur in business settings like a financial audit. I think you're right. I think it's experimental.
all right.
I think you're right.
If I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
No. I think you're right, but that's what I kind of needed to clarify in my own head. Of hold on, just a second. Let me get back to where we were with the quiz. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think you're right, because I think if they weren't giving out the vouchers and stuff and they were just watching everybody, picking people to watch in higher income areas versus lower income areas. But
If
here,
we find out it's wrong, we'll have to get him to clarify. If it does happen to be wrong, I'll want to get it
yeah.
explained.
But now I think you're right, because I think the treatment, because that what I read before, it was talking about there is no treatment. They're just looking, and the treatment here is giving the different types of vouchers. So I think you're right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
P-value of 0.002 was found for the study described above. We could say that there is about a 0.002 probability of obtaining the actual observed result. The null is true. Okay, so what did he say about if the p-value is high, it's wrong?
If the p-value is smaller, is low, then the null hypothesis is rejected.
What,
So
say that again?
the evidence against the null hypothesis is assessed using the p-value, the probability of obtaining a result. If the p-value is smaller than, say, 0.05, the null hypothesis is rejected. If larger than that, then the null hypothesis is likely not to be rejected. So I'm saying probability of the actual observed result, or one more extreme, assume the null is true.
Hold on a second. I gotta go kick my daughter off the internet because I'm starting to lose signal for you. Just a sec. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
Haley. Haley, I need you off the internet. Sorry, I have cruddy signal, so if somebody else in the house is using the internet the same time I am, it starts
That is
buzzing.
not fun.
Yeah. Okay, so p-value was tricky to me. I'm trying to figure out, oh, right, here's the notes. If the p-value is small, we reject the hypothesis. Okay, so let's read this again, because that's a small p-value. And we say that there's a 0.2 probability actual observed result, or one more extreme, assuming the null is true. Yeah, so it's just asking, saying that that's a probability. Am I reading that right?
It's kind of tricky how it's written. Let's see.
What would you say?
Assuming the null is true. So, well, let me read 16. So what's the difference? So
The p-value is low.
16 is referring to 15. That doesn't help. Okay, so back to 15. Sorry.
Okay.
Value 002 was found in the study.
Let's figure out what is the null. I mean, basically, what's the null hypothesis?
The null hypothesis is a statement about the population that represents the status quo, or what is generally accepted as true.
So I think in this experiment, I'm guessing that the null hypothesis is that the people with the vouchers, the 2 different vouchers and the extra assistance are going to, it's going to be helpful in getting them out of poor neighborhoods and reduce poverty. Am I understanding the use of null hypothesis correctly?
I think so. That's how I understand it.
So, okay, so they're basically assuming that if they do this stuff, it's going to reduce poverty and help these people get out of the poor areas. But this has a super low p-value, which he said yesterday in the video, if the p-value is small, we reject the null hypothesis.
Right. So I think it sounds like it's saying that that makes it sound like the answer should be false.
Yeah, that's making it sound like it's not going to work. Since the p-value is low in question 15, the researchers could conclude that the results are significant, and providing low-income families with an opportunity to move away from low-income neighborhoods does make a difference in poverty levels. I'm thinking, wow, I'm confused. So I would want to say false because
the p-value was so low, you have to reject the hypothesis.
Right.
The hypothesis was, their idea was by giving them vouchers and help, they could decrease people in low poverty areas. The p-value came back saying no, then it didn't make a difference. They stayed in poverty.
So are you kind of reading that? Are you reading that the same way I am?
Yeah, I'm thinking false.
Yeah.
Is that what you're getting?
So that's kind of what I was thinking, because so if a p-value of 0.002 was found for the study described above, then we would say that there's a 0.002 probability of obtaining the actual observed result, or one more extreme, assuming the null is true.
That's what I'm getting.
So that's true because p-value is probability. So it's saying that there's 0.002 probability, and that's what the description of p-value is. So I think that's true. And since the p-value is low in question 15, the researchers can conclude that the results are significant and providing low-income families with an opportunity to move away from low-income neighborhoods does make a difference in poverty levels. I'm thinking that that low p-value means, yeah, that if the p-value is small, we reject the null hypothesis.
Right.
So I think that answer's false.
But I think too.
Okay. So well, that's another one. We'll see when we get the submit button.
We'll talk ourselves into the answer. It might be wrong, but I think
It
right.
sure would help to have a third brain in here.
It probably would, to see if we're totally off the mark.
Yeah. Okay, so last question.
Oh, I wrote all this down, so that'd be easy.
Match following, collect data. Okay, design the study is the first step. E. And then we collect the data, that's step 2. And then we describe the data, that's step 3. Then we make inferences, that's step 4. And then we take action, that's step 5. So if I've done it correctly, are you done?
I've got DCAEB.
Okay, hold on a minute. So design the study, step 1, E. And then I have collect data, step 2, C. And then describe the data, step 3. Yeah. And then inference on the data, step 14. And take action. I have C, B, E, A, D as in David.
Say it one more time.
I have C for number 1, B as in boy for number 2, E as in Edward for number 3, A as in apple for number 4, and D as in David for number 5.
Yours read, collect data, take action, design the study, describe the data, and make inferences.
Yeah, so 1 is collect data, 2 is take action, 3 is design the study, 4 is describe the data, 5 is make inferences, and then the A column is step 3.
Oh, no, yours is different. Okay.
B is, yours is mixed up. I have B as step 5. I have C as step 2. D.
Oh, no, those are different.
Okay, so basically, what matters is we've got designing the study is first.
Right. Correct.
Collecting the data is second.
Right. Okay.
Describing the data is third.
Double check it. Yes, step 3. Okay.
And making inferences is step 4.
Step 4. And then take action.
And then take action is step 5.
Yep.
Boy,
that was sneaky.
Yeah, that was sneaky. I wonder if he realizes that question is mixed up for everybody.
Yeah, boy. That people are actually paying attention, not just following along.
Yeah. Huh, trick question. All right, you ready to hit submit?
Yeah, here we go. I wonder how quickly he grades it. Let's see.
I'm submitting. Ta-da! 94%. Okay, we missed one.
89? What? How did I miss more than you?
How did you get 89?
The heck? Okay, so the only one I missed was 15 and 16, where I did false and false, and they were true and true.
Yeah, we talked about 15 being true. Did you must
Well, there you go.
you must not have changed that one
No, I didn't. Darn it.
because we did talk about that being true. And
Shoot.
then so 16, that's what we're going to have to ask him about that
No.
because that
Yeah.
low probability is throwing us off.
No kidding. He'll have to explain it. Because I know he'll probably give the key afterwards, but I'd like an explanation.
Yeah, me too. But unfortunately, his meeting was today. It's tonight. I think his office hours.
Mm.
Uh,
I have to email him maybe.
yeah.
Let me know. All right. Well, what do you want to when you email him about the Friday group meeting, ask him when he does his next, or just a response for number 16.
Yeah, I'll do that, and then here I will, and I'll paste the link into the
Okay.
board, and then let me just look one last time and see if what's her name, Deborah, ever answered the email. No, she never responded.
Must have been off the clock.
Yeah, but it's weird because because she kind of added to the meeting late or added to the group late and then said she couldn't do 6 o'clock. I kept getting kicked off every time. I'm so glad I kept going back in and looking at Hangouts because every time I went back and looked at that Hangout sign up, my name was removed from the slot.
Oh, really?
I Yeah, I re-put my
Wow.
name back in the slot like 3 different times.
Oh my gosh.
And
People kept
so,
removing your name.
yeah, and so I went back, when I went back in the last time, I saw her name and my name was removed, which is the one that had said Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yeah.
And so she signed up not knowing what days we were meeting. So I put my name back on there and put Tuesdays and Fridays at 6 p.m. and then resent out an email, and she responded
Oh,
back,
yeah.
"Oh, I can't do 6 p.m." And it's like, we've already set up our group.
You gotta get something else. But we
Yeah,
do need a third person. It would be helpful just to someone else to bounce it against to help to have an odd number,
yeah,
probably.
yeah. Why couldn't we get one of those girls that have husbands that are engineers that have,
Yeah, just so you know, this is not my strong point, but
me
I'll
either.
muscle my way through it.
And I'm like you, like I haven't been in school for,
uh,
shoot, almost, 27
20
years.
years. I know. I didn't come back to want to take a math class, but here we are.
I keep, with I my first 2 classes I started in spring semester, but I took Book of Mormon and I took Family Proclamation and I took the orientation, and so that was all
Uh,
easy. And then summer session I went ahead and took New Testament and that was all I was taking, and so that was easy. And so here I'm like 2 days before starting this, I'm having nightmares and I'm
oh
going,
yeah.
why am I doing this to myself? What am I doing? I already have a career. I'm earning good money. Why am I doing this? It's a dream.
Self-inflicted pain.
Yes, self-inflicted pain. That's exactly right. I
I'll just
said,
plunder my way through it. I don't know.
like,
I'm
do
not
I,
looking forward to this class.
yeah, do I really want to be a PA? Do I really want to do this? It's 5 years.
Yes, we need more of you guys. Yes. I love the PAs. They're great.
Yeah, so maybe we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe if I get my butt kicked, I might just give up.
Okay, I'm done.
All
All
right.
right. Well, okay, so are we planning on 6 o'clock tentatively for Friday
Well,
again?
I'll say Yeah, unless we hear from Deborah. I mean, she was the
Okay.
one who wanted 7 o'clock. So if she's going to drop from the group, then 6 o'clock is fine for me.
Yeah,
I'm kind of a let's get
I'm
it done.
fine with earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're an hour later, so
Yeah,
that's
6 o'clock your time is fine because that's still 7 here, so that's
yeah.
great. Yeah.
Okay, good. Then let's plan that, and I'll email you if differently, and also I'll email Brother Richmond, and if he responds to me, I'll copy you on the response.
Okay, great.
And good. Nice to meet you and work with you.
Hey, good to meet you too. All right, well, enjoy your night.
All right, you too.
All
Bye.
right, night.